We're gonna make harissa. So this is a smoky, spicy paste that you can use in all kinds of dishes, but we're gonna rub it on chicken and roast it with some vegetables, quick and easy.
Life can be a struggle, but a good meal doesn't have to be. We can make creative, nutritious, and inventive dishes that won't break the bank. We'll eat well and save money, because that's what we do. Welcome to Struggle Meals.
I'm gonna start with red bell pepper here. They're gonna bring sweetness. We're gonna char them. They're gonna be nice and smoky. I've got Anaheim peppers here. They've got just a little bit of heat. They're gonna help us dip our toe into the water a little bit towards the spiciness. Then we've got serrano. Really increases the metabolism and starts getting the sweat going. And then the spiciest one we're using today, chili de arbol. These come dry. Harissa comes from North Africa. We don't have access to the same stuff they use. So I want you to think of this paste as a concept and use the peppers you like. With a dried pepper, such as our chili de arbol here, boil some water, pour the boiling water over the dried chili to soften it. For our fresh peppers, what we wanna do is char them. This is gonna help the skin separate. It's gonna bring smokiness to the whole show. If you've got a gas stove, you can just turn on some burners, take the peppers and just put them right on the flame. If you don't have a gas stove, take these and put them right on a sheet tray, stick them under the broiler, okay? What we're looking for here is to burn the skin. We're gonna peel the skin off. So don't worry about like eating this charred stuff, we're not. The more evenly you burn these chili peppers, the easier it's gonna be to take the skin off. As they start becoming fully charred, you're gonna take them and you're gonna put them into this glass bowl. See this? So it's pretty evenly charred all around. I'm gonna throw that right there. It goes without saying, like, don't walk away. You've got something under a direct flame here. Focus. You can do it. I have faith. Everything goes into the bowl while it's hot. Very important. Now we need to cover this. By charring all of our chili peppers, getting them hot on the outside, putting them in a heat-proof bowl and covering it, we're now creating a high humidity situation, and this is gonna help the skin separate from the flesh of the peppers. Let's toast up some spices. Cast iron pan, go with the thickest bottomed pot you have, which for us strugglers is a cast iron pan. We've got some garlic here, okay? 1, 2, 3. Peel that garlic, and we're gonna throw these right in. Get a little char on the garlic. We're gonna go with some caraway seeds here. Coriander. This brings some bright lemoniness. Cumin, warming, funky, smoked paprika. Oh, I smell it already. We're looking for little wisps of smoke, which has just started to happen. Look, check it out. Once the peppers start smoking like this, their color starts to darken. Pull it off. Remove them from the cast iron pan. Extremely aromatic. Lovely. We got our peppers here. A lot of condensation has happened. You can see the skin has shriveled a fair bit. The steaming process, you can see in the difference in the malleability. By covering the chili peppers with the plastic wrap, they've cooked through a lot more too. Get my hand on the end, use the back side of the knife so you don't dull the blade, and just kind of work away from yourself like this. And you can see the skin's coming off pretty nicely. Gotta love it. Little serrano. It's okay if you only get 95% of the skin off. Like having a little char in there is cool. You get those black specks, which always look great. When we come to something that's a little more globe-like, it might make sense to cut it in half. And you know what? Let's work this way with it. Now we're gonna remove all the seeds. Make a little V here, pull this guy out, just get your knife flat and work your way out that way. We'll move up to the next guys. Cut the end off, cut it in half the long way. Push those seeds right out. Now we've got the serranos. These are the spiciest of the fresh peppers. You definitely don't want to touch your eyes while you're doing this. Seeds coming out, serranos going in. Look at our dried chilies here. They have become plump and malleable. We can throw those with our fresh chili peppers. Our garlic and our toasted spices, those go in. Olive oil, about a 1/4 cup. But this is one of those things where you can eyeball it. Some tomato paste. We're gonna juice a lemon. It's got all these smoky, spicy flavors. We need some relief. Hit it with a little bit of salt. A food processor is the easiest way to deal with this, but an immersion blender does the job in a pinch. Like I said, a food processor is a lot easier. If you find things aren't blending, just add more oil. All right, little test for salt. I feel heat coming to my forehead already. Salt is perfect. Let's get this into a jar. A funnel works really well if you own one. I also find a giant serving spoon is pretty good here. So we've got our harissa paste. Now we're gonna make a super quick chicken dinner. We've got some potatoes here. So I'm gonna go in half, flat side down, in half, and then in half again. Potatoes go into a bowl. Now we'll do our Brussels. Cut them in half so that the root still kind of holds the whole thing together. A little bit of olive oil in with our potatoes, a little bit of fat to get really nice and crispy, salt, a little bit of pepper. We take a little bit of our harissa here, and it becomes more of a topical coating. Got a little toss. Beautiful. On our Brussels sprouts, we're just gonna put our harissa and a little bit of salt. So we're gonna add these Brussels sprouts halfway through the cooking time. That means there's gonna be a ton of chicken schmaltz that is rendered out of the chicken, which means that there's fat in the pan, which means we don't need to add more here. Chicken, a little bit of salt on the chicken, a little bit of pepper. I'm a big fan of chicken thighs here. Chicken breast is gonna bring no flavor to the party. You're just gonna taste harissa. We need a meat that's got more oomph to it, right? So that the two can work together. Got our sheet tray coming in with the chicken thighs. And our potatoes. Leave space between them. The more space you've got between them, crispier they're gonna get. All right, we're gonna cook this for 20 minutes on its own, then we're gonna take it out and add the Brussels sprouts. Now we're gonna add our Brussels sprouts. Spread it evenly. Back into the oven till everything's done. We're gonna make an Herby yogurt sauce to cut through all the richness. Now let's head over to the herb garden, something I paid for once, and it keeps giving me free flavor. Whole bunch of parsley, gonna get a whole bunch of mint, and I'm gonna get a whole bunch of dill. The mint leaves have to be removed from the stems, but the other herbs can hang on. Take the mint leaves with the dill, roll and fold with a sharp knife. Kind of come through. The sharper the blade, the more of the herb flavor will stay in the herb. We got some yogurt here. Greek, plain, full fat, non-fat, up to you. And we can come in with our herbs. A little bit of salt, can give this a little mix. A little taste. Oh, that's gonna cut through all the richness of the harissa and chicken. Cannot wait. Let's get a piece of chicken, potatoes, and Brussels sprouts. We've got all these rich flavors. We gotta cool it down with some yogurt sauce. It makes the whole thing happen. This smells amazing. $2.14. I am going to wait no longer to take a bite. That's happening now. The harissa is not nearly as spicy as it is if you tried it raw. It mellows out in the cooking process. And what we end up with is something that's just incredibly flavorful. Smoky, a little bit spicy, tangy, salty. This is a complete dish that tastes 10 times more expensive than it actually is. Remember, you've got leftover harissa paste in the fridge, so you can slather it over whatever you want later in the week for a quick, easy, flavorful dinner.